Hello, I'm going to show you a short demo of Chatwize. In this demo, I'll walk you through the text-based AI chatbot. When you sign up for a Chatwize account, you automatically receive a trial. This trial gives you access to all the features you need to get started with setting up a chatbot. Once you log in, you'll see a screen that looks roughly like this. If you don't have any chatbots yet, you'll be guided through a simple chatbot creation flow. This flow is intentionally simpler than the full configuration interface, so you can get started quickly. Let's follow that flow. Everything here is fairly easy to do. In this demo, I'll skip the appearance settings because I already have a chatbot prepared. Normally, this is where you would upload your initial training data. We'll skip that for now and continue. As you move forward, you'll arrive at the dashboard. Here you can see the new chatbot you just created, along with various settings you can configure. For this demo, I'll step out of this view and show you a chatbot that I created earlier. When we open that chatbot, you'll see that it's a demo of Chatwize support. This chatbot has already been trained on multiple documents, including our own website. Adding new information is very straightforward. You do this through Sources. From there, you click Add Sources, and you'll see a screen where you can choose the type of source you want to add. This can be a PDF, a Word document, an Excel file, images, or a website URL. You select what you need and upload it. Once the training is complete, you can also review exactly what has been ingested. You click on a source, and on the right-hand side, you can click View Content. This shows you what the AI sees. For example, here we've added a Word document. You can see that the text has been neatly broken into sections. And here you see an Excel file, which is processed and displayed as a table. With that done, we move on to AI agents. Chatwize uses a multi-agent approach, but by default, every new chatbot starts with just one agent. For most situations, that's more than enough. When you use multiple agents, an AI Supervisor ensures that user questions are routed to the correct agent, since only one agent can actively handle a conversation at a time. When we open this single agent for the demo chatbot, you can set the agent's name and description here. This description is not the prompt. It's simply a short explanation of what the agent does and what types of questions it should handle. With a single agent, this isn't very important, but with multiple agents, the supervisor uses this information to route questions correctly. If you scroll down, you'll see that you can select a model. Depending on your subscription, you'll also see different context sizes available. The prompt is where you define how the agent behaves. These are instructions written in plain language. When you create a chatbot using the standard flow, a prompt is usually generated automatically. But if you want to adjust or fine-tune the behavior, you can do that here. And if you need help, we can provide templates or assist you through support. Next, you'll find the Knowledge section. This is where you decide which information from your sources the agent is allowed to use. By default, it uses everything. But if you're working with multiple agents and want each agent to have access to different information, you can disable this and configure it per agent. This is fairly simple to set up. The remaining settings here are more technical, so I'll skip them in this demo. If you're curious, you can check out our documentation. For example, we also support function calling. This allows you to connect external tools or APIs, so the chatbot can fetch data when needed or even perform actions. This requires proper parameter setup, and we provide documentation and support for that. Within the multi-agent section, you can also access the AI Supervisor settings. You'll find these in the panel between the left sidebar and the main screen. From there, under Intents, you can configure how questions are routed to the appropriate agents. This can get quite detailed, but again, with a single agent, you can already cover most use cases, so we won't go too deep into this here. Next, we move on to customizations. This is where you configure more advanced settings and adjust the look and behavior of the chatbot. You can set options related to security and visibility, configure the time zone, and ensure the chatbot knows the current time when responding. You can also enable showing sources in responses and allow actions such as copying, downloading, or uploading content. Whenever you make changes here, make sure to click Save. You can also configure a custom domain, add a disclaimer, and enable human escalation. The disclaimer ensures that users agree to your privacy policy and any applicable terms before starting a chat, which helps with privacy and GDPR compliance. With human escalation, you can allow conversations to be taken over by a human agent. If a user asks to speak with a human, the agent receives a notification and can take over the conversation from the inbox. You can also enable a simple button in the chat, allowing users to switch to a human agent with a single click. You can also enable file uploads, allowing users to upload files such as PDFs or Word documents for analysis. There are some limitations on which models can be used when this feature is enabled. In the background, monitoring agents follow conversations and automatically assign labels based on context. You can also define variables you want to collect during a conversation, such as name, phone number, and email address. You configure this using clear instructions and optional examples. When this information appears in the conversation, a background agent automatically captures it and stores it in a structured JSON format. This can then be sent via webhook to an external endpoint. This works well with Make.com, Zapier, and many CRM systems. You can also collect this information through a form. In this example, I'm collecting email, name, and phone number. If you don't want to use a form, you can simply disable it. In most cases, you choose either conversational data collection or form-based collection. We'll disable the form for now. After that, you'll also find appearance and style settings where you can control how the chatbot widget or iframe looks on your website. I won't go into detail here, but there are plenty of options. Once everything is set up, you can move on to go live. This is where you'll find the steps to embed the chatbot on your website. You can also open a link to test it directly. When I open that link in a new tab, you'll see that a conversation may already be loaded, but we'll reset it. You can start chatting right away. You can share this link with your audience, use it internally, or test it yourself for a ChatGPT-like experience. If I enter my details here, the chatbot can recognize and store them automatically. And you can see that reflected in the inbox. This is where all conversations come in. You'll see that information mentioned in the conversation is automatically captured by a background agent. In this example, I'm not explicitly asking the user for this information, but you can configure the agent to always request it at the start of a conversation, which you do in the agent settings under the prompt. When we return to the inbox, you can see that I'm chatting with a user. If the user indicates they want to speak with a human agent, the agent receives a notification. You'll see an alert appear, and you can take over the conversation. At that point, the AI stops responding, and you communicate directly with the user. From the inbox, you can always review messages and respond. Once you're finished, you can end the live chat, and the user will be routed back to the AI. This gives an overview of the core functionality of the Chatwize chatbot. If you have any questions or would like us to review your setup, feel free to let us know, and we'll be happy to help.